Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to discuss my current favorites. This is going to be the winter edition. I used to do these roundup videos at the end of every single month. However, I've recently discontinued those. I think the last one I did was back in October. Instead, I'm thinking of doing these seasonally, so I'll do all of my favorites, but it'll be for that particular season. So today we're going to do winter, and this video is going to include the decks that I've been really drawn to all winter, makeup, some of them may include candles, books, and I think that's it, at least for now, for today's video. So I'm going to start with the decks. That way, if you're just here for the decks, if you're just interested in the decks that I'm working with currently, you can click off the video once I'm finished talking about the decks and I move on to the other items that I've been feeling really drawn to. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Film Noir Tarot. So this is newer to my collection. I received it as a Yule gift. This is an independently produced deck. It was created by Christopher Leach, I think his name is. You can purchase it on the website. It's welkintarot.com, I believe. I have a little business card in here somewhere. welkintarot.com. So this is the business card that came with the deck. So you can pick it up on this website. As you can tell from the title, Film Noir Tarot, this is a Film Noir deck. It's a very interesting deck. I've been having a lot of fun with it this season, and it is a straight shooter. It's very honest. I would align it with the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So I have a very fiery, feisty niece who is a Sagittarius sun, and she has that brutal honesty that I feel this deck has. It's brutally honest. What you see is what you get with this deck. As you can see, these titles, there's the title of the movie on every single card. I find that this deck tells a story through the titles. It's great at summarizing events that are occurring in your life. It's an excellent divinatory deck. And divinatory as in helping you understand events that are to unfold. It is a bit dramatic. Like I said, Sagittarius sun, it has that fiery, kind of feisty, very brutally honest, it's truth serum energy to it. The guidebook is really good. The creator explains the movie that inspired the card, and then there's keywords as well. So excellent deck. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It is a really big deck. I'm tall, I'm 5'8", and as you can see, like, this deck is even big for me. When I shuffle, I have to shuffle it like that. So something to keep in mind if you're interested in this deck and you have smaller hands. Okay, so again, that's the Film Noir Tarot. You can pick it up on the Welkin Tarot website. Next up, I have a fan favorite. This is the Wildwood Tarot. Absolutely in love with this deck. One of my major arcana cards of the year is Strength, and I feel that this deck, it really aligns with the Strength card energy. This deck is all about strength and resilience. Wild, it's passion, very connected to the land. Helps you connect with your roots, your ancestors. I feel such a strong connection to this deck. You guys know I'm half Celtic on my mom's side, and this is a Celtic deck. So I'm loving working with this. I know a lot of you guys like to work with it for, I guess around this time of the year, it makes sense. I feel like it aligns so well with the winter, with the resilience that comes with the winter, surviving the winter. So I couldn't gush more about this deck. It's become one of my top favorites this season. Again, that's the Wildwood Tarot. You can purchase that anywhere. It's mass market. It's such a fabulous deck. I'm sure so many of you already have it. New to my collection, the Moondust Tarot. I forgot to mention that I'm going through this really weird for me, dreamy, kind of Piscean, Neptunian energy. You guys know that my chart is dominated by Capricorn and Scorpio placements. I'm actually ruled by Pluto and Saturn. Those are my two most dominant planets. My third is the moon. So this is weird for me to be drawn to this kind of a dreamy deck. This deck I have wanted on and off for over a year. And I've recently been experiencing this dreamy kind of energy. It's a significant theme right now in my life. I think as I'm processing what I want to bring into my life, we're still in January at the time of this this video. The time that I'm recording this video, we're still in January. So still very much in this energy of what do I want to experience this year? What do I want to bring into my life this year? As well as what do I want to leave behind this year? And I think it's almost started this dreamy kind of fantasy energy for me. It's very Piscean. I know I'm a Pisces sun, so, but as I said, my chart is not dominated by Pisces placements. It's Scorpio and Capricorn, so it's weird for me to be so drawn to this type of a dreamy energy. I'm really drawn to the colors in this deck. There's a lot of blue, pink, and purple. Again, it's that dreamy, ethereal. That's sort of, those are the qualities that I align with those colors. But it's beautiful. The only reason why I didn't pull the trigger a year ago when I first found out about this deck is I'm not that dreamy Piscean. Typically, like, I'm more drawn to the darker aesthetic, darker decks, or witchy decks. I love, like I've mentioned this so many times on my channel, my two favorite archetypes are Femme Fatale and the Witch. So I have a lot of those decks that are witch themed. So this one's just, it's something I've hemmed and hawed. I'm just like, am I gonna just be drawn to this deck for a season? Am I gonna, and then move back to, what I'm comfortable with? But recently, since I've really stepped into this more dreamy energy, I thought, you know what, it's come back around again. I'm feeling really drawn to this deck, and I do think that this is gonna be one of my favorite decks. It's really beautiful. You can see the back of the deck. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The guidebook's really nice. There's a little poem at the beginning of the deck. Sorry, passage. There's a little poem. Yeah, you can see, like, there's a little poem, and then you get your keywords. You just get keywords, upright and reversed keywords, and then you get the card meaning. And there's a decent amount of information. You get like a whole paragraph or a couple of paragraphs here. So I do like working with the guidebook. And this is coming from somebody that my preferred style of reading is intuitive, but I do have to say I do enjoy this guidebook. This is going to be a very tarot, I forgot to mention, this is going to be a very tarot heavy deck list because I've been feeling more drawn to tarot than oracle this season. But one oracle deck that I've been really enjoying, especially with the Moondust Tarot, is the Cosmic Pearl Oracle. I purchased this back in the summer. It has this Venus, it's like a very Venetian kind of ethereal, kind of dreamy energy to it. It's very beautiful. I forgot to mention, you can purchase this mass market. I just got it on Amazon. Same with the Cosmic Pearl Oracle, which I'm showing you now. You can see the backing. And this deck is edged in this periwinkle, looks periwinkle to me in my lighting, but it's like a periwinkle blue. As you can see, the deck is made up of pre-Raphaelite artwork in this collage style. It's really beautiful. Very soft color palette, perfect for spring. That's another thing. I'm feeling this budding spring energy, probably because Imbolc is right around the corner, but like I'm recording today is the 26th of January, so I know Imbolc is right around the corner, so I'm feeling this budding, this very early, almost spring energy. I'm feeling this beginning to ascend from the underworld energy. So again, this is the Cosmic Pearl Oracle. Look at the box, it's really cute. It's magnetic. Weird on this list. I showed you all the pastel, light, kind of spring decks. Now we're going to the autumn. I have the Antique Anatomy Tarot here. So I just spent about a week with Hades. You guys know that I work closely with Hades, Lilith, and Hecate. Hecate being really a key guide of mine. Very dominant in my life. However, I do still hear from Hades from time to time. I do walk with him. He is Pluto. And this is one of the decks that I like to work with him. I think that the energy of this deck is so perfect for him. It's this, like aligns with the Death card. It's like endings and new beginnings kind of an energy to it. I don't know why there's reversed cards in this deck. I don't use reversals. I love the artwork. It's very simple. I don't typically gravitate to the pip style deck that this deck can be considered as, but I love the simplicity of the imagery. It's really great for working with your intuition. This deck was created by Claire Goodchild. It's mass market. I just purchased it on Amazon. It's called the Antique Anatomy Tarot. Recently on my channel, I went over the decks that I was considering rehoming and the decks that I was for sure rehoming. So this landed on one of my lists. This is the Tarot in Wonderland, I believe it's called. It's an Alice in Wonderland themed deck. And I'm so happy to share that I did connect with it recently over the past couple of weeks as I've been experiencing this dreamy or dreamlike energy, like a dreamer energy. The color palette, there's a lot of pinks, soft, like pastel pinks, blues, and purples, especially the cards that feature Alice in them. Although, oddly enough, when I was working with this deck, I was pulling a lot of these cards, like the red and the blue. But I am so happy to share that I've used it. I feel more connected with it. It has this really beautiful maiden innocence energy to it. It's also very liminal in its energy. It's a very interesting deck to work with. So again, this is the Tarot in Wonderland. It's mass market. It's actually a Llewellyn deck. We're down to 2 decks. So this is the Nameless One Tarot and Oracle. This is an independently produced deck. You can purchase it on Zia Hunt's website. I think it's just ziahunt.com. This is a Tarot and Oracle deck. Yeah, so you can purchase it on ziahunt.com. It is quite expensive, I'm not going to lie to you. The artwork is really beautiful. And the quality of the cards is really nice. It is a large deck, as you can see. And again, I'm quite tall, I'm 5'8", I have larger hands, and I struggle to shuffle this deck. I do like to separate the Oracle cards from the Tarot cards. And then I'll shuffle them separately, of course, like overhand like that. I can't shuffle like this, that would hurt, which is my preferred. But it is a really beautiful deck. I've been enjoying working with it during this transitional time. Not transitional time, I've been enjoying working with it during the winter. The imagery is quite dark. Like there's a dark back, like I mean in tone, in color, not in, in energy, although to me the energy is very liminal, but I wouldn't be surprised if you find this deck to be a bit more dark leaning. But I find that it really sits in that space in between. I love the imagery. I find it very beautiful. It's very appealing to my eye. And then each card includes a handmade sigil by the creator. So again, this is the Nameless, I think it's called Nameless One Tarot and Oracle. Last but not least is the Tarot of the Hidden Realms tarot deck. This is a Llewellyn mass market. This is Julia Jeffries' other deck. Julia Jeffries being the creator of the Witch Sister Tarot. You guys know that's my favorite deck of all time. I always use that deck. So this is her other tarot deck. This one she created with Barbara Moore, and this one actually came out before Witch Sister Tarot. I felt a recent pull to work with this tarot deck. I'm pretty sure to go with that budding energy, that the transition to spring with Imbolc being right around the corner. So you guys know this deck. I've spoken so much about it on the channel, but you know, to me, this deck has a very strong maiden energy to it. There's also a lot of butterfly and moth energy depicted throughout the deck. There's like a lot of butterfly imagery and moth energy. This is one of my favorite spring decks. But yeah, this is, again, Tarot of the Hidden Realm, created by Julia Jeffrey and Barbara Moore. It is a Llewellyn deck, and it is one of my favorite decks right now. So that concludes the deck portion of this video. Books that I've been really enjoying. This is more recent. You guys know I'm a mom. I work a full-time job as well. And my husband works, right now usually it's nights, but right now it's like these 13-hour shifts. So I find that my schedule is a little bit more restricted. So I don't find as much time as I would like to read, like on top of the other things that I like to do. I like to journal. And I also enjoy working out. I try to work out about 3 times a week. Right now, that's just what works for me. So I do find that my reading kind of, doesn't come first like other things in my life. So I've slipped a bit with that, but I've recently found a bit more time in my schedule to read, and I've been really enjoying A Woman Among Wolves. So I watched a couple of interviews with this woman, Diane K. Boyd, and she just is such a fascinating woman. So I felt called to picking up this book. I wanted to get a wolf book, basically. I was trying to read She Who Runs with the Wolves, but I just couldn't get into that book. Nothing against anybody that enjoys that book. I'm aware that it's a very popular book, but for me, at least right now in my life, I wasn't feeling very called to reading that book. But I did encounter interviews with this woman, and I thought she was so fascinating that I had to pick up her book. She's a researcher. She's researched wolves for well over a decade. And she's had very many close encounters with wolves. She's lived a very fascinating life, like opposite of my life. Lived a completely different life from me. She even has lived out in the middle of nowhere, I guess, so that she can have these interactions with wolves. As a researcher, it makes sense. The only thing is, she's basically going over her life, basically starting from the beginning, how she developed her fascination with wolves. And she is later, wolf recovery. Wolf recovery is her main focus, especially I think later on in the years. I'm still very early in this book. I like to take my time with my books. I think I recently just made it to chapter 2 or chapter 3. But this is she's a very interesting woman. And she's just sort of going over her life, starting at the beginning when she started developing her interest in wolves. The only thing is, some of the stories, like, they occurred in the 70s. And there is, I don't know how to, there's some animal cruelty. So I do want to let you know that if you do feel called to purchasing this book, just be aware. I do find some of the parts quite sad. And the author, Diane, like, she's very matter of fact when she's explaining these situations where animals have been harmed. And it's sometimes, it leaves a sore spot. Like, it's sad to read about this, but I do understand, like, we're talking about the 1970s. It was quite an insensitive time back then, so I do understand that, you know, things have evolved. And I do understand that I think later on, she does shift from this more research, more element of air aspect of working with the wolves to more focusing on their recovery, their rehabilitation. Still very early in the book though, my opinion can change. I'm still, like I said, I just started chapter 3. So another book that I've recently been feeling called to reading is Hades, Myth, Magic, and Modern Devotion. My OG followers, the ones who have been here for a long time, know I purchased this book, I think last year. I've had it for quite some time and I just haven't been feeling called to reading it. But like I did say earlier in this video, I just spent about a week with Hades. He came back around and I've been feeling called to reading from this book again. So I've made it to chapter 9. I'm actually almost done the book. I think there's one more chapter and then acknowledgements. So almost done the book. I do enjoy the book. She, interestingly enough, includes botanicals in each chapter, different animals as well, and then she even goes over some historical sites that have been linked to Hades, which I find really interesting. She even goes over other popular figures that are linked to Hades, like Hercules, Hecate, which I find really interesting. There's different crystals, but it's a great read. If you feel connected to Hades, you want to learn more about him, it's just an excellent book, and there's so little information out there about him. There's very few books written about him, so I just felt like I had to mention that. Candles, as I mentioned, I believe in my favorites video, I've been using my Eucalyptus Snowfall candle by Bath & Body Works. I do want to purchase from Shy Wolf, based off of a wonderful viewer's suggestion. I mentioned in a video a little bit more recently that I was interested in learning about a small business, like a small Canadian candle company that was just a cleaner burn, because Bath & Body Works, they do include some more harmful ingredients in their candles, so I'm looking to kind of switch off of that. I don't think it's that big of a deal if you live in a space that's well ventilated, as with anything that you're burning. But it is just something that I'm more interested in doing, is just bringing more quality into my practice. I'm looking for things that are more intentionally crafted. Candles are a significant part of my spiritual practice. So that is something that I am planning on doing. I'm trying to use up what I have right now. I've acquired quite a lot of Bath & Body Works candles over the past year or so. I'm trying to use up what I have, and then I'm gonna switch over within the next couple of months, hopefully. But I did want to let you know that I've been burning Eucalyptus Snowfall from Bath & Body Works lately. It's that winter. It has this minty lavender scent to it. It pairs really well with the winter. Okay, now that we're done the decks, the books, the candles, now we're gonna move on to the makeup that I've been really enjoying this winter. So palette wise, I've been feeling really drawn to this spicy nude color palette. So this is Empower by Huda Beauty. This is an eyeshadow palette that I've wanted for over a year. Again, this year I'm focusing more on quality over quantity. And I've decided this year I'm going to be picking up things that I've wanted for a long time that maybe I've been on the fence about. So I decided to pick up Empowered. I've wanted it for a long time. I just wasn't sure of the quality. I'm feeling very drawn to this spicy nude color palette. I wear mostly this. I like wearing it to work. It's nice to have these spicy neutrals in your collection for when you want to just go to work with a neutral eyeshadow, but you still want to express yourself. I really gravitate towards these types of color palettes. Quality wise, I was disappointed in the pan size, but I've been spoiled by my indie eyeshadow palettes, like my Unearthly Cosmetics. You guys know I have Gargoyle. I've been spoiled by that company. The quality is just excellent, and then the pan size, it just blows me away. So I was a little disappointed at the pan size of this palette, and I do have to admit that the wearability, like my Unearthly Cosmetics, lasts longer than these ones. These ones I do find they'll smudge a bit around the eye. Otherwise, I don't really have any complaints. I think that this is an excellent eyeshadow palette. You get a lot of different shades to work with. You have a couple of different formulas. They have cream products. I believe the top and bottom one is cream. So using this one a lot lately, especially for work. For those days I just want to wear a neutral eye. The other one that I've been using, I'm using it today, is the Winter Wonderland palette by Cosmic Brushes. So I also have their Undergrowth eyeshadow palette. You guys know that. This one, I've been having a lot of fun with this one too. I'm wearing this really shifty shade called Winter Solstice today. And then I'm using Clear Skies on the outer corner and then under the eye. And then I just buffed it out with Chill, which I think is this light purple shade right here. So absolutely obsessed with this eyeshadow palette. These are a great bang for your buck. This is also a small, independently run UK business. Wearability, again, I find that my Unearthly Cosmetics eyeshadows last longer. These ones tend to smudge on me as well, but I do think this is a great bang for your buck. It doesn't really bother me if I have to touch up my eye a little bit later on in the day. I find that they'll last me until the end of the day anyway. It might smudge towards like the end of my work day. Doesn't really bother me though. And I like the formula, I like the shades, and I like the themes of the creator, her eyeshadow palettes. Like they're typically, they're themed. Like she has a Lover's Card eyeshadow palette coming out in the future that I'm kind of interested in, but I'm interested to see if she continues that tarot theme. The Lover's Card isn't really one that I interact with a lot, but I would love like if she came out with maybe a death or like the Hanged Man. You guys know that's one of my signifiers in tarot. Okay, lips. You probably see me wearing this a lot. So I recently picked up, you guys know I love the Moira Lip Appeal waterproof liners. I recently picked up their shade 018 Expert, this dark brown shade. I've been enjoying wearing this with Voyager by Maybelline. It's the matte ink, Superstay matte ink. Lipsticks, I love these. I have so many shades that I've acquired. I can usually pick them up on sale on Amazon for 10 bucks. They're really great bang for your buck. They last all day for me. The only thing is I do find, like I'm wearing Seductress today, I do find that it'll make my lips stick and then it'll flake off a bit towards like the inside of my lips, but otherwise I don't really have any other complaints. They're really comfortable. They're a lot more hydrating. In the past, I really enjoyed the Colourpop liquid lipsticks, the matte ones. I, however, have found them so drying this winter, so I haven't been wearing them. Instead, I'm choosing a Maybelline or a Nars. I find the Nars to be the best. They're just the most hydrating, but these ones don't really bother me either. So I've been really enjoying pairing this dark brown lip liner with Voyager by Maybelline, the Superstay Matte Ink. It creates this beautiful brown toned, like dark red. It's like a maroon. And the brown lip liner just gives it this beautiful... I've noticed something about me. I like to mix brown and red together. I just think it's so sexy. But it gives it this brown tone. So it's like this brown toned red. It's absolutely beautiful. Seductress, like I mentioned, I've been wearing this a lot. I've been wearing it today. I've noticed that this has a slightly different formula than all my other Maybelline Superstay Matte Inks. Like, I have a lot of these lipsticks. This one's unique because it leaves this little shine. Most of them they just dry down matte, but this one leaves like this shine where it kind of looks wet sometimes. I don't know if you can see it, but it will make my lips look wet, almost as if I had like a gloss or a cream lipstick on. I don't like to wear those products because I find that they end up just all over my face, especially if my hair gets blown onto my lips. So those are the Maybelline. One of my favorite Nars lipsticks this year has been, you guys know I love this, the Power Matte Lip Pigment, the liquid lipsticks by Nars. Absolutely obsessed with this shade. This is called Dragon Girl. I got this for Christmas. It's this bright red. I'm wearing it a lot in my videos. I think my 2 more recent videos that I posted. My Hecate, my favorite Hecate decks that I just recently uploaded. I think I'm either wearing this one or Star Woman. But for sure the one I posted before that, I'm wearing this lipstick. The breakup decks that are leaving my collection and on the fence decks that I'm on the fence about. Those 2 videos I'm wearing Dragon Girl. Okay, so eyeliner, you guys know I absolutely love the Colourpop Cream Gel liners. This is in the shade Joyride. Absolutely really enjoy using this to line my eyes. Usually when I'm doing if I'm doing like a dark red, usually I put the darker colors towards the outer corner of the eye and under the eye. So I've been enjoying lining my eyes with some kind of liner. And when I do my red looks, which I tend to do a lot, my red and brown, it's like one of my favorite color pairings right now. I will use this liner. I've recently picked up some liquid eyeshadows that I'm experimenting with, but before that I was using usually a gel liner. I have quite a lot that I've acquired over the years, and I like to just smudge them out with a brush and then I'll apply eyeshadow on top, and it just gives it that depth and that dimension that you want sometimes with an eye look. So I couldn't recommend Colourpop's gel liners. I couldn't find mine, but Moira has gel liners as well that are really good. I would recommend the matte ones. I picked up a shimmer recently and it didn't really work out for me. It didn't have the pigment that the matte ones do. So I recommend the matte ones. Like I said, I misplaced it. I'm not too sure where it is. I have a backup, but I guess I can just go grab the backup. They're so good. I've repurchased, it's the Statement Gel Liner by Moira. I just got it in shade 03 Brown. And they come with, both liners that I've showed you today, they come with little sharpeners that just go in the back. But they're like in the bottom. But this is like one of my favorite gel liners. They just apply so beautifully. They're pigmented. They blend out beautifully. Before I picked up Moira's liquid eyeshadows, I was using these a lot. Another new product from Moira. I love Moira, you guys. I couldn't recommend them enough. They're such an excellent brand, very affordable, and they just make good products. I just find the packaging to be a bit cheap, so if you're a packaging person, this might not really work for you, but I do recommend the products are really good. So I just picked up their contour because I'm having such a great experience with them. Usually whatever I pick up from them, I do enjoy, apart from the shimmer eyeliners that I mentioned. But this is their contour. It's Face Sculpt Liquid Contour. I got mine in shade 100 Fair Light, and it's beautiful. I've been wearing it every day. Blends out beautifully. You get a nice sheer wash of color that's buildable, but it's not so pigmented that you're basically screwed if you apply too much product by accident. So I do recommend this. I think I'm gonna check out their blush next time whenever I get around to making another Moira order. I'm good for products now, but probably next time I need my liners. But I do really enjoy Moira products. I think that these lip liners are so good. You guys know I've spoken on the channel about, I like their red one. I think it's called Fierce. It's called Fierce, I think. I've repurchased that quite a few times, and I like Legend. Also repurchased that one so many times at this point. Anyway, this is, in summary, everything that I've been enjoying this winter. This is my favorites, current favorites list. Again, I'm going to do these, I think, seasonally, because I do tend to work with the same products over and over and over again, because I do find that I'm drawn to certain color palettes seasonally. But this one was kind of interesting, kind of weird, because of being drawn to the blues, the purples, and the pinks. Like, experiencing this dreamy energy is really new to me, but I've been having a lot of fun with my makeup, with my aesthetic, trying out new colors, working with new things, new products, experimenting, having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, this basically sums up what I've been using this winter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.